Hey everybody, welcome. It's All Things Parks here. I'm here with Erica.
Woo!
This is Andrew, as you know. We are here at Disney Springs. Today is the first day that CityWorks is open, and so we're going to be doing a little review of happy hours. So we've got happy hour over at CityWorks, we have happy hour over at Raglan Road.
Beer versus beer.
Who will be victorious? What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be reviewing based on value, selection, and atmosphere. So we're going to be giving out points. 5 points each is the max, so 10 points to each category. Best out of 30. Whoever has the highest score at the end wins. So we're going to start with value, and then we're going to go to selection, and then we're going to go to atmosphere. So 1, 2, 3, 30 points. Let's get ready to drink beer. Alrighty, so round 1 in the books, we're talking value here. So over at Raglan Road, we've got our happy hour. It goes from 12 to 6. So that's a big time stretch.
That is 6 hours, folks. 6 hours of drinking.
So what you're getting with that value from 12 to 6 is $5 pints, and so anything that they have on draft, and then $5 wells. So whatever their well liquor is. I know they've got Smirnoff for vodka. I believe they have some pretty big knockoffs for whiskey and rum and tequila. I don't even know if I would even consider ordering a tequila drink over at Raglan, but
we did see it last week. We did see somebody order
tequila on the rocks. So good for them. Way to expand your horizons out there.
There you go.
But so let's see, for value, out of 5 points, what are you giving?
I would give it a 4 because I'm not sure what the Irish tequila is.
That's the only reason you're knocking that point? It's getting the
knock. The only reason that I'm knocking the point is because the variety that you get for the $5. So if it was full force, if I could get a frozen Irish margarita, which is yet to be invented, then I would give it a 5.
Ooh,
but because I only have what I am basing these off of, which is mostly beer and then the well liquor, I'm going to go ahead and give it the 4 because I just don't have as much variety, which we'll get to in a moment. But for the value, I'm going to give it a 4 because I don't want it the full 5 out of 5.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I am also going to give it a 4, but I think my value is, I think a tie because it's a 6-hour happy hour. I mean, most places are in that 3-4 range, if that. So if you can get there at noon and go until 6, and you can have $5 pints. The thing with me is I will enjoy beer from time to time, but I don't want eight beers, which 8 beers is quite a lot of beers. But still, I'm just saying I'll have a snake bite and maybe a second snake bite or an IPA or a cider. But that's really all I need to have. So I would agree with you. I know they have some kind of frozen concoction over there, but I don't know if I would trust it. But if they did have like a Jameson margarita or something like that, if they could figure it out, I'd be in on that.
Yes, I always love whiskey in my margaritas, but I will agree with you that 6 hours of fun play is huge. So, I mean, it's something that really on property you can't find a 6-hour happy hour.
Yeah, and especially beers. I mean, that's going to be the cheapest beer that you're going to find on Disney property. I can almost guarantee it for $5. So,
and it's a good portion. It is a full pint, so it's not like at your food and wine festival when you just get a smaller ounce pour. It's the real deal. And if I could give it a point percentage, then I would do the 4.5, but I can't, so we'll just stay with the 4. But because of the duration, it increases the value, but we're gonna keep it a 4 because nobody's perfect.
That's right.
I gotta work it.
All right, so that is our value for Raglan. Alrighty, round 1 for CityWorks value. Here we are to judge what we think the value at CityWorks is. So let's open it up for discussion. CityWorks value. They've got their happy hour is Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6 p.m. $2 off wells, your wines, and also your craft beers. So let's hear what you got to say.
Including the wine is a minimal big deal. Minimal big deal. Oxymoron there. I'm gonna go with 3 because why are you only giving me 4 days of the week? And additionally, why are you only giving me $2 off when if you actually looked at the value of Raglan is about $5 off.
That's steep. That's a steep comparison to make there. But I think I'm actually going to go for a 2 on value because of what you mentioned. It's nice to get a little something, and they do have Lagunitas over there for anybody that likes little something. But
you're not getting little something here.
No, that's correct. But as far as what they bring to the table, only 4 days a week. I mean,
I'm here 7 days a week.
Yeah. So what if I want to come on a Friday after work?
What if I want to come on a Saturday or a Sunday?
It can be happy after work. I'm on a Friday. You're celebrating the weekend, and all of a sudden there's no deal. So I will say that they do have a food offering in the happy hour. So that makes it maybe jump a little bit. But we're not discussing food right here. We're discussing the cocktails, the drinks, and things like that. So as far as I think the offering of the happy hour for drinks, I'm gonna give it a 2 for those aforementioned, just because it's only 4 days a week and it's Monday through Thursday and it's only 3 to 6 versus 12 to 6, 7 days a week. That's big for me.
That's a lot more hours, folks.
So at the end of round 1, we've got value for Raglan sitting at 8. Versus value for CityWorks sitting over at 5. So let's see how it shakes up in the next round, which is selection. Stay tuned. We'll be here with you in just a moment. Round 2. The second round.
Bam.
All right, so we're heading back Raglan. We're going to talk about Raglan again because that's our joint. But as far as selection goes at Raglan, it's very heavy on the draft beers over there. They do have some nice Irish favorites. You can get your snake bites, you can get your black and tans, your blues and tans, your blues and blacks, however you want to, whatever color combination you can think of, your greens and beiges. If you want, you can get it there.
Black and yellow.
But as far as selection for me at Raglan, if you're not a beer drinker, there's not going to be a whole lot for you there. Yeah, you can get a Smirnoff and cranberry juice if you want, but I don't think you want that. I don't want that. I don't want you to have that.
I also don't want you to have that or anything like that.
For selection, sure, I enjoy it, and sure, the value is great, but selection, I'm giving it a 2. I'm just giving it a 2. Sorry, everybody. You're gonna have to deal with it.
So as a beer drinker, as a cider drinker, as a Guinness drinker, as a drinker, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4. And this is simply because I find many combinations. So my favorite is the Snakebite Black. Getting that currant juice makes it a little sweeter. So even if you aren't like a crazy beer drinker, it's a really nice drink. So finding a creative way to make a drink that you like, even if you're not like the biggest beer drinker fan, which I wouldn't understand, but it just makes it a little sweeter. It doesn't taste so much like beer. So I'm gonna give it a 4 just because like I feel as though I find enough variety to make different, even though they don't have the most variety, like they just put beer and beer and beer and then make something that I like. So I'm just saying in that sense, because you can mix and match beer, which is an Irish tradition, which you're not gonna get at CityWorks because that's not what they specialize in. So just because the variety of Irish combinations, I'll give them a 4 because they nail it.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. So at the end of round 2, not quite halfway through round 2, we've got Raglan with what you gave it to 2, a 4. I gave it a 2. So we got Raglan with 6. So let's see what CityWorks has to bring to the table. Alrighty, CityWorks round 2 selection, big time selection over at CityWorks. We walked in there. We were hit.
We were just like walking and walking and walking, like, and the beers kept coming.
There's more beers. Oh, there's some more beers.
There's
also,
beers.
What did you find?
There's ciders. I found an Hakuna Matata IPA, which is a huge deal because somebody that has an Hakuna Matata tattoo needs an Hakuna Matata IPA.
That just fits. It
fits
the bill.
It does. It's like I'll pay you to drink this beer, which I did. But anyways, I'm gonna give them a 5 out of 5 in terms of variety or selection here. So They have a lot of IPAs, they have a lot of ciders, they have a lot of Belgians.
Yep, ambers.
Ambers.
They got strong
They have
ciders.
a lot of, like, what I love bourbon. If you know anything about me, I love bourbon. So they have those barrel made beers in the barrel whiskey. So it gives that little hint. But I didn't get one of those because they were 8% alcohol and I thought that would be irresponsible. But I got the Hakuna Matata IPA.
So, what are you're giving it a...
I'm gonna give it a 5 because whatever
Okay,
you could
all right.
imagine that you would want in terms of beer, cider, whatever it might be, they will have something that you will like. So even though, you know, they don't have my frozen margarita or, you know, something like that, in terms of beer and strictly beer, they have anything you could imagine, and it's delicious.
They've also got a souvenir cup, we found out.
They do have a souvenir cup, which if you know anything about me as well in terms of my whiskey love, or my, as Andrew would say, I'm a lush. If you tell me that there's a souvenir cup, there is a 99.9% chance I'm buying the souvenir cup. This was a 0.01%. I did not.
Well,
even though it was only $3.
You were talked out of it. I talked you out of it.
He talked me out of it. It is a mason jar tumbler, which is like double whammy, mason jars. But I didn't do it because I have really no love connection towards City Works.
Not yet. Not yet. So this was the first day they were open, and this is actually the first time we had been there. Full disclosure. But I'm with you. I would not give it a 5 because nobody's perfect, so I'm gonna give it a 4. I would say that they had a whole lot of selection. They have, you know, your High Life. They had a lot of Florida selections. They had a ton of ciders, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, they have kind of your traditional Stellas, your Blue Moons, things like that. But then they have things
Peroni.
like your Hakuna Matata IPA. You know, so
I
they had
really
a crazy
expected a
amount
better
of
tap
selection.
for the Hakuna Matata, but there was no Lion King theme to this at all.
Yeah, I was hoping for a cooler tap also, but still, if you're not a beer drinker, they have the ciders, which is big, and they have a big selection of cider. They had a watermelon, they had a strawberry lemonade, a black cherry, a pear.
I will say though that I tried his black cherry cider. It did not taste
not impressed.
anywhere near black cherry. So as someone who really likes like White Claws, Trulies, things like that, those hard seltzers, the cider itself had none of that flavor that you're looking for. And then also I had the strawberry lemonade cider, which really, I mean, it's pushing it that I could hardly taste the lemonade, let alone the strawberry.
I thought it had some. I thought it's had some good notes of the lemonade. It was a little tart, so it had that kind of that pucker that you want from a lemonade. But I thought the lemonade was definitely much better than the black cherry. But so for me, 4, for you a 5, so that's a 9. So at the end of round 2, we've got 9 points for City Works, and we've got 6 points for Raglan. So let's see how it shakes up in the last round here. Again, best out of 30. We're getting close.
Woo!
Who will be the winner of the Beer Wars?
The beer reigns supreme.
Alrighty, this is the gauntlet, the final round, the lightning round, what everybody's been waiting for. So we are talking atmosphere. Da-na-na-na. So Raglan Road, it just screams atmosphere.
It
They've got
screams up.
the Celtic music playing. They've got you know, they've got the bartenders generally are from overseas.
Like outside of Dublin.
Yeah, like
Our
I know
friend Michael is a bartender there. He's not really our friend, but we love him.
he is from Ireland.
And honestly, like, it's rained, and if you hear the thunder, it's rained the past several times that we've been there, and he just loves getting out in the rain and helping people get their tables or umbrellas. Yeah, so it's like a natural Irishman.
I don't know if we can say that, but all right, I'll run with it. So, atmosphere at Raglan Road. They finally, now with the way that things are opening up here in Florida, you can now sit back at the bar, which is lovely.
Huge.
Before you could usually only sit at the tables outside or in the hole-in-the-wall area, otherwise outside by the Cooks of Dublin. Last judgment zone here. We've got our atmosphere over at City Works.
Yes.
So, for me, right off the gate, what I do like about City Works is that it's indoors. versus the
Hole in the
Raglan
wall.
Road hole in the wall, which is outdoors. On a hot day like today, it was probably mid to upper 90s. It's nice to be able to sit inside an air-conditioned area and have your drink as opposed to sweating while you're trying to drink your pint. So for me, that coupled with kind of just the sports vibe, the music, the kind of more contemporary look of things, I'm giving it a 3. What are you thinking?
I am thinking similarly, but not for the same exact reason. So I'm also going to give it a 3. We've discussed I like a little bit more rustic feel to it. So yeah, the sports vibe definitely was a little bit different than what I'm coming to maybe Disney Springs for.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the music was on point. But I feel like there wasn't that connection with the bartender. Perhaps he was a little bit more busy than the one at Raglan Road, and that's definitely possible. But having the more upbeat like music and like all of the TVs everywhere, it kind of broke away from what I'm looking for when I go somewhere, which is kind of relaxation and this. Whereas like Major League Soccer was on there and like fishing, and like I don't want to watch that when I come to Disney Springs. Like I am here for full-on immersion into, you know, what a lot of people come to Disney for, which is something different, and that I can get at home.
That's fair. And I would also say too, I mean, it was pretty empty in CityWorks when we were there, so that made the noise level a lot quieter, whereas I think that if there was a lot of people in there, it's definitely a much bigger place, which we're probably about to get rained on, but that's all right. We'll keep pressing on here. I think if all the tables were filled, there's going to be a whole lot of noise going on, a lot of chatter, so it might add to kind of, you know, missing a little bit of the ambiance that you would get over at Raglan Road. So it really is just going to depend on, you know, the time of day that you're there, how crowded it is, things like that. But I would say a 3 overall. You're going to be at a 3 overall. And so if you have been keeping score, we've been keeping score, we'll be back with the final totals in just a second. Be ready for it. The final numbers have been counted. They're all in. Have you counted them?
Are
Do
you
know
ready
what it
for
is?
the disappointment?
All right, so after 3 rounds, going based on value, selection, atmosphere, we've scored out of 30 points, Raglan Road with a, get ready for it, 21. Not a bad score, just a little bit above 66%, maybe about 69.7%. I don't know, I'm not a mathematician. But what we have for CityWorks out of 30 points is 20. So they just missed it by a point. So in this review here of happy hours,
It looks like if you're looking for a good beer, you're looking for a good time, you should head on over to Raglan and skip out on CityWorks. You should go to
Dang.
City Walk, but not right now.
That's a tale for a different time. So yeah, definitely would recommend both of them. If you're looking for something to drink, depending on, you know, if it wants to be more beer related, I would suggest these 2 places here at Disney Springs. So next time you're here and looking for a beer, check out Raglan or CityWorks, and you will not be
You'll not be
unhappy about it.
disappointed. Not at all.
But thanks for joining us on our journey here. We're happy to take any suggestions of things that you might want to see moving forward. Make sure you always click that subscribe button. It's in one of these corners here. Comments, let us know, like I said, what you want to see, and we'll be happy to throw that out there for you. But appreciate you following along with us here. And
I have one more thing to say.
Oh, sign off.
Hakuna Matata, folks!
Hakuna Matata. And Kwaherini, go well. See you next time.